What I am saying is as follows. You see, earlier on, North India had representation of 38% in the parliament and South India had 24.3% in the parliament. After this bill happens, North Indians' representation will grow up to almost 43% and the representation of South India will be 20.7%. Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Today, 16th of April is a very important day. There are three draft bills that are tabled in the Lok Sabha today. The bills are A. Constitution 131st Amendment Bill 2026, Delimitation Bill 2026 and the Union Territories Law Amendment Bill 2026. Now together, these bills seek to lift the decade-old freeze on state allocation based on the 1971 census of India, creating a new delimitation commission and expanding the Lok Sabha from 543 seats to 850 seats. So put together, these bills are going to bring about delimitation, which is going to increase the number of seats in Lok Sabha. Now, this particular delimitation is under the Article 82 of the Constitution of India and Article 170 of the Constitution of India. Now, this is what these delimitation bills are based on. All this is fine. Now, why do we have delimitations? I've done an entire story on delimitation, but all the same, let me tell you, delimitation is because there is equal representation of people. So, according to the government, as population increases, you have to have more people representing that population. So, it is directly proportional to the population. Now, it sounds good, but is it good? Is it really good? Let us try and deep dive into this. You see, the problem is that delimitation was supposed to happen in 1976. 1976, Indira Gandhi said that no, we will freeze the delimitation as is based on the census of 1971 because bhaiya ye jo population hai, the population increasing, therefore representation increasing, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because if you take India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and that is how one should look at India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, interest of every state, no matter which region the state is and no matter which political party dominates that particular state, we have to look at it from the perspective of each and every state. And that is what Indira Gandhi said. So she says, if you look at Indian states, the growth, the population's growth is not even. Some are growing faster, some are growing at a restricted speed. So it will be unfair. It will be unfair if you put a blanket population representation and then you do your delimitation on that. It will be unfair. So she said, hang on. She said, maybe in the next 25 years, that is till 2000. Maybe things will settle down. There will be some kind of evenness as far as the population growth is concerned in the country. After that, we can do a census and after that census, we can do delimitation. This is what Mrs. Gandhi said. Fair enough. So, the delimitation exercise was frozen as of census 1971. Chalo, cut to 2000. 2000 mein, the Prime Minister of India was Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he saw the circumstances, he said the same. He said what Mrs. Gandhi had said in 1976, more or less the circumstances are the same. It has not changed. So since the circumstances has not changed, he too was of the belief that hang on, let's push this by another 25 years, that is 2026, and we will still wait for some kind of evenness to come as far as population growth is concerned. So that it is not that one area in India has higher population, so they are rewarded with more representation, and another area of India which has restricted its population is penalized by giving lesser representation in the parliament. This is the problem. The problem is what Mrs. Gandhi saw and what Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee saw is the same. States, especially in South India, they spend more money on education. They spend more money on healthcare. They ensured that they restricted their population explosion. So because of that, their population growth was lesser because they ensured they restricted their population. They took effort to restrict their population. They spent money to restrict their population. They brought growth, therefore, for the country. Whereas North Indian cities, especially Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, population grew. Population grew, and today they have far higher population. Their rate of growth is far higher than that of the South. Therefore, end of the day, what is proposed by the government now is an increase of seats from 543 to 850 seats in the parliament. And guess who is going to get more seats? Guess whose voice will be more and who is going to lose out? End of the day, you are going to penalize. You are going to penalize states which have actually taken efforts to ensure that their population is brought under control, and you are going to reward the states that have increased their population, that have got huge population, by giving them more voice in the parliament. What they say will be heard, and what possibly a state that has got limited population say will not be heard, or their voice share will be lesser. Not be heard, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, their voice share will be lesser. Is that fair? First question. Let me give you some details. Total number of seats, 543 today, will be increased to 850 seats. And this 850 seats, 850 seats will be for the states of India and 335 seats for union territory. This is how it is going to be divided. And like I told you, it is said that states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, etc. will get at least 200 seats more. Whereas South Indian states will not benefit that much. Now, when I say South Indian states will not benefit that much, please don't take it as South Indian states will not get increased number of seats. That is not what I am saying. What I am saying is as follows. You see, earlier on, North India had representation of 38% in the parliament, and South India had 24.3% in the parliament. After this bill happens, North Indians' representation will go up to almost 43%, and the representation of South India will be 20.7%. This is how it looks at the moment. These are not final figures. This is a draft bill. This is how it looks at the moment. But at least for us, as a reference point, this is probably what it's going to be, is what we can say. I'm not saying, therefore, once again, I'm not saying that therefore these are the final figures or this is the final kind of representation percentage. But this is how it looks at the moment. Now, this is the problem. South India will be marginalized. South Indian voice will not be heard. North India, which has got a larger proportion and even today has a larger voice share in the parliament, will be much bigger now. And South India will be smaller. That's why every South Indian leader who genuinely bothers about the South of India other than their political parties and comes from South of India, today is objecting to this particular bill, this draft bill, saying that it's unfair. It's unfair. And why this rush? Why this rush for delimitation? Why? When the delimitation was said, we were supposed to have census, and based on that census, we were supposed to put a committee and then the delimitation would have happened. Now, the government says no, to hell with the census, let us go by 2011 census and let us do delimitation now. Why delimitation now? Is there a political angle to it? Now, let's talk about the political angle. You see, who is going to benefit? North Indian states are going to benefit. States like Uttar Pradesh, states like Bihar, states like Maharashtra. Who is the government in Uttar Pradesh? Who is the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh? It's a BJP chief minister. Who is the Uttar Pradesh of Bihar? Today it's a BJP chief minister. Who is the chief minister of Maharashtra? Today it's a BJP chief minister. These are the states that's going to have higher numbers in the parliament. States which will have numbers will again, like I said, increase, but the percentage will go shorter are states like Kerala, states like Karnataka, states like Tamil Nadu, states like Telangana, states like Andhra Pradesh. Who is the state government in Kerala? The state government in Kerala currently is the left, that is the CPIM and CPI. State government in Tamil Nadu, DMK. State government in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Desam Party. State government in Karnataka is the Congress. Do you see the difference? Where Bharatiya Janata Party government led states are all possibly going to see a larger share in the parliament, and non-Bharatiya Janata Party states are going to see less representation in the parliament. This is one way of looking at it if you look at it from a political perspective. Now, another last point I wanted to make before I end my editorial. It is being linked with the Women's Reservation Bill. Women's Reservation Bill is a fabulous bill. It is a bill that needs to be implemented. There is no question about it. Why are we linking delimitation with the Women's Reservation Bill? You can execute the Women's Reservation Bill on 543 seats. Let 33% of 543 seats be given to women. Great, good, fabulous. What is the limitation? Now, in 2026, if we are insisting that no Women's Reservation Bill has to be linked with delimitation and therefore everything will be right, then one kind of feels that is there a political motive behind all of this? Behind the Women's Reservation Bill, behind delimitation, is all of this linked to a political motive? And if it is linked to a political motive, if national interest like Women's Reservation Bill, if national interest like delimitation is linked to political interest, then we have a danger. Then all of this has to be seen and seen very, very carefully. Lastly, I am not against delimitation bill. By the way, delimitation is a must. Population grows, you need more representation. Not that I believe that every representative is doing his job in the parliament currently. I don't believe that. But all the same, as a thumb rule, we need to have more people, more representation. That is fair. But that being said, why are we sticking to population representation? Why can't we go with proportional representation, for instance? Population representation will always end up rewarding the state which has got a higher population, which couldn't control its population. Proportion will have some kind of a fair play. That's the point I wanted to make, and till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.